Régis, firstly, can I ask you about Granit Xhaka? Is there any update on?
Yes, he's doing well. He'll have another assessment in around 1 week. So from that point, we'll see where he is to define the next stage of his rehabilitation. So it should take probably 3 more weeks.
So you're still working on the month?
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got a transfer deadline special on Monday night. There's not a lot in it at the moment. So it might be quite a quiet programme before the Burnley game, unless you can help us out with anything.
I won't comment on individual players as usual, but the market is often the same. Many interests, many conversations, not many deals in the end. And for us as a club, as a team, we don't need to rush anything because we started well. We are happy with our squad. If we can reinforce and strengthen the team, will try. So a lot of work behind the scenes, and it's better to stay under the radar, and we'll see what happens.
So it's a case of something might happen, but you're not worried
it's still possible,
if it doesn't.
Yeah, the market is the market, still unpredictable, and I repeat, the end of the market is often more active.
You are managing to move players out, though. Dan, Neil, Haji Elise. Is there anything else on the horizon in terms of moving people out?
Yeah, it's still possible. We'll see for 1 or 2 players because they need more minutes, and if it's possible, we'll do it.
Have you been encouraged by the movement out this window? Because in the past couple of windows, it's been quite difficult.
It shows that our players are good, because if they can move in this market, it shows that they have good quality. So yes, at the minute we are okay.
You've got Diarra back. Last week, he showed a lot of energy when he came on at West Ham. Where does he, Hertrauder, and Trey Hume fit into your plans now? Have you got roles that you see them playing specifically?
So it's like a new part of the season with Habib, because it just started the first month, and after that we had a long journey, different experiences. So it's like a new signing, and happy to have Habib back in the squad. So he's a midfielder. So we'll see how we'll manage the setup to find the right balance.
I was thinking, in terms of, he came on as a right winger at West Ham. He can play there. He can play in central midfield. Hertrauder, central midfielder. Hume, you've been using more in midfield. Do you still see Trey as playing more in midfield than now back in defence?
Yeah. Trey played as a right winger with the ability to come inside. Probably at West Ham it wasn't the best version of our game. It's not only one player. So Trey in this setup is more right winger, able to manage the right side. They can combine with Nordi, for example. And sometimes when we need to create more movement, more options, he can go inside because he is versatile. So this ability after that, out of possession, to play with a back 4, back 5, I think is important, especially for the deep block against strong team in possession. For example, I think it's really useful for the squad. And for the next setup, we'll see, because it's good to have different options. Now we need to find the option to win, and we'll see on Monday.
But Broby, and you talk about winning, Broby's in a little bit of form now. It's getting stronger as the weeks go by. I must be pleased with the progress that he's now making.
Yeah, absolutely. He's getting better physically now. I think he's at the level of the Premier League. He can fight with the centre backs. He can run. He can counter press. He can defend. I think he is getting more confident with his teammates as well, for the connections, the relationships they are building together. And we need to learn what kind of balls he needs to feed in behind. So it's a question of adjustment, and he scores, which I think for a striker is very important.
And Burnley, what's your thoughts on where they are at the moment?
This is the Premier League, so they are struggling in the league, but they are doing well. They drew 3 times in a row, deserved at least 2 wins, I think, after reviewing the game. So they are doing well, probably with a lack of efficiency. It's often the case. They can build the play under pressure. They can go direct. They have a high press, an efficient high press. So it's a question of details. Key moments will define this game once again. So for us, we lost against West Ham, and it wasn't our best version. So it's about the way of playing. The intensity wasn't high enough. We reviewed the game this morning. The lads trained well. So now words are words. Now it's time to go back in our stadium and to show that we are at the level.
I mean, you are strong at home, but are you mindful that you need a response from last week's game?
Absolutely, it's always the case. After a win, you don't want to step back. After a defeat, you want to react quickly. This is the normal journey in the Premier League. And emotions are there. When you lose, you're always a bit negative. But we had time to recover, to reset, and I hope we'll be at our best against Burnley.
Hi Régis. Can I go back to that away game at Burnley, and how do you think that your team has grown since then?
Yeah, it was early in the season. It showed that we had a good control on the ball, but we were not efficient in the offensive third, and in our defensive third. I think it was more or less the case at West Ham. So it's a good reminder about the efficiency you have to have in that league. Key moments will define the game, so you can be balanced. You'll have an opponent with a style of play, how they defend, how they press, how they build up the game, how they attack. But key moments define the outcome. And away at Burnley, they were better than us in that part of the game.
Yeah, I just want to ask about the window. Because it's a weird deadline, it's an hour before you play. So how's that going to work? At what point do you sort of put your phone away and then?
Yeah, my main focus is the squad. So we have people behind the scenes, Flo, Christian, and Kirill. They are working hard with the recruitment structure on that topic. We are connected, but for me the main focus is the team, the squad, the way we will play against Burnley.
Yeah, and just finally, it's the first time we've spoken to you since the West Ham game, where Granit had that incident with the fans behind him. You probably had a bit of time to look into that incident. Have you spoken to him about his actions at all?
Yeah, quickly. It's a shame because we don't need this event in a football stadium. I think it happened now. I don't know the responsibilities exactly. So for me, the game was the game, and around, I've always many things to say.
Yeah, but have you spoken to him at all? Or?
Not from specifically about this subject. No.
Régis, in a footballing world of so much kind of money, social media, everything around it, how much respect did you have for Dan Neil's journey and story here at Sunderland, would you say?
Yeah, a huge player, and so for the club. For me, as a manager as well, and the connection we had last season was absolutely perfect. Yeah. The way we worked together, the way he managed the team as a captain, and it was a key factor to manage the togetherness with Luke. Probably those 2 players last season were really important for that topic. And the journey is the journey, and I think. He is now in a new part of his professional life. You have to live at times, and but with respect and good memories. Yeah.
What conversations did you have with him before he left? Did you have a final conversation before he left, and could you give us some insights into what it was like?
Not exactly before, because it's always unpredictable. Yeah. We were in West Ham, and finally we had 4 days after that, and the decision was made at that point. So we text one way, the other way, and it's more about the pathway we had together. I think a lot of respect, and he did a good job. Now it's a new part of his life.
Nick mentioned Habib just before. Obviously, we saw Habib earlier on in the season before he picked up that injury. But with Granit out, how big an opportunity is this for him? And also, how big an impact can he have over a concerted period of time?
We'll see. He has to take the place with not only Habib, it's a question of connections. It's always the case. So we'll have to define a new setup with a strong period once again, really exciting period, challenging. And we need those challenges to grow once again. With and the journey. I think from one experience to the other, you learn. So it's difficult to anticipate exactly what will be the pathway, but we have good players. So now we have to build the new setup.
Arsenal's defeat at the weekend meant that only Sunderland are still unbeaten at home in the Premier League. How proud a banner is that for you and for the players to be the ones left standing now in the Premier League?
First of all, I think it shows the strong connection we have with our fans, with this place, and it shows that we have a strength, an extra factor, a key factor, which is really useful. So keep doing. And if we lose a game, it's still possible. It doesn't mean that we'll lose this X factor. So for me, the sequence is the sequence. It's beautiful. We can talk about it. But the most important thing is the connection, the strength we have, the belief, the responsibility as well as a team. When we are 1-0 down, for example, we want to react. Often away it's a bit more difficult, but at home we always show that this energy, this connection was a key factor for us, so keep going.
Just finally from it, you were talking about Burnley there and the fact that they've been struggling a little bit, but they've been playing some pretty decent football. The sides at the bottom are picking up points, they are picking up wins, draws. With the inconsistency of the Premier League, are you having to reassess that 40-point mark for survival every week or not?
Yeah, maybe we'll see. We'll see at the end. So for us, this is the main target. So 7 points, and we'll see. We don't want to stop at that target, but as soon as possible, if we can reach 40 points, then we'll go further, and we'll see. Yeah.
Thanks, Régis.
Régis, Burnley finished a fair way ahead of you in the Championship last season. They were a team that had a lot of the ball, and that worked really well for them in that league, but they've had to adapt in the Premier League. It's maybe been easier for Sunderland to adapt. Is that to do with your style, more counter-attacking than theirs, that you were already set up?
Yeah, they were strong defensively as well. They conceded a few goals, and so it's a new story. I think it's always a new story. Maybe it's the same manager. The core of the group is a bit similar, but it's a new story, a new journey, and you always need to adapt. So you never know how will evolve your group. And at the minute we are doing well. They are struggling, but it doesn't mean that they give up. It's not the case. So they are playing a good football, I repeat, and they are just on the edge for that switch. So for us, we want to control the game, we want to be proactive, and the intensity will be key.
How do you replace a player like Granit Xhaka, and how much influence does he still have, even when he's not playing around the other players?
I think we can't replace Granit, so we have to build a new setup, and so a new leadership as well. And I think it takes time, and but at the same time, Granit wants to create the condition for new leaders. So it's a good period for that. We might struggle a bit, which is normal in the Premier League. It's not just a question of one player missing. It's about the level of the league. And we are still a new promoted side. So don't forget, and this perspective is really important. And we have to manage a new setup without the leader from the first part of the season. And I think we have the potential in that squad, but it takes time. We need experiences, often negative, even if it's not comfortable. But you can react and you can learn from that point.
Do you think you still have a lot of leaders in the team, because your Dan's gone, Granit's injured? Are there other leaders there?
Yeah, I think so. After that, you have different kind of leaders. The most important thing is the management of the game. Is it for the whole team? Is it for a substructure? Probably we need more players involved in substructure, in triangles, in backline, goalkeeper, and so on. But it's still possible to create new leaders.
Thank you.